What does 75 years mean to you?
Oh, 75 years. 75 years is a long time.
The age of my grandparents.
It means history, it means relationships, it means family.
A long time, because it's older than I am.
Almost a third of those 75 years have been selling Kenworth trucks.
If you've been around for 75 years, it means you have a customer base that believes in you, that trusts you, that you're taking care of them.
It's momentum.
For Rihm Kenworth to be 75 years old at that same time, 75% of the time that Kenworth's been around, Rihm Kenworth has been around. What a great partnership that's been.
So this year we're celebrating our 75th anniversary as a Kenworth truck dealer and 92 years in business. We became a Kenworth truck dealer in 1949, and our company was founded in 1932. So in 1932, in the height of the Great Depression, who starts a company? Well, JB did. I think it was in 1948, Kenworth came to him and said, we've got some trucks that were supposed to go to Mexico. Those trucks got ordered and canceled. Would you sell those trucks for us? So he said, sure, I'll sell those trucks. And then in 1949, we were named the first Kenworth dealer east of the Mississippi and the fourth Kenworth dealer in the network. One of his sons, Walter, was my grandfather, and he was our second generation owner.
Walter would come in the morning, and I actually had an office in the main dealership. And Walter would come by. I'd usually get there around 7 in the morning, and I could hear him coming down the hallway. He'd peek his head around my office. Morning. Yeah, I don't think he knew who I was. I was a young kid at the time.
Walter was jovial, and he'd come in, he'd read the paper, he'd go in and say hi to everybody that was in the office. John continued that on, though. He followed in his father's footsteps with always going around and saying hi to everybody.
Worked under John. He was quite an interesting man. He had his ways, and he was a good guy to work for, very fair.
My father was our third generation owner, and in 2010, my dad got diagnosed with a brain tumor, and 4 months later passed away. And that was my sister's senior year when he passed away. So Carrie, who's my stepmom, got a call from Kenworth Truck Company and said, Carrie, you inherited the business, but you don't have an approved successor. So what would you like to do? And Carrie said, well, I guess I should get to work.
So my task at that point was to learn quickly, gather people around me who could help me propose that I should be the dealer. And I came to understand very quickly I was going to have to dedicate myself to the business and to expanding the business so that we could best cover our AOR. So that's what I decided to do. And I guess the rest is part of the 75-year history.
Carrie being on the Women in Truck Association and leading that, I think that says a lot. She embraces and encourages women to get in the industry, and you don't see that a lot. And I think that says a lot about her ability and Rihm's ability to diversify the industry.
I didn't realize it at the time, but I was quite unique in the truck dealership ownership position. And that goes for all makes. So I was fascinating to other people, apparently, because certain things came as a surprise, like being recognized as influential woman in trucking by the Women in Trucking Association.
To be female-owned and just to see what Carrie's done for the community. I mean, we went from when I first started, it was 1 to adding Duluth to 2 to we're up to 7, and then we have the leasing. And
They really went from a tragic outcome with John's passing to Carrie stepping up and taking the company in a totally, really different direction. And, the facility investments that they've made and just breathed new life into the company. So
for Kenworth, it was huge. It really put Rihm Kenworth on the map in their eyes. Like, okay, here's a company that's going to put some investment in their facilities and in their people.
We have a lot of tenured people, but we're also bringing in new people from different industries to fill traditional roles because we feel that skill sets are as important as industry experience. Bringing in outside ideas is stimulating.
Just amazing to look at the transition from buildings and trucks. You out here, look at all these trucks out here, how old they are, and the technology, just the same with the buildings. And the transition to dealership and how it's grown, and the intensity and the level of service we can give that we couldn't offer before. It's just amazing. It's ever changing.
We've hauled for Kenworth and did things with Kenworth for over 45, 50 years while we were in business. And you know, with Rihm, the selling the trucks, I'm not saying I made it easy on the salesman, but while I was buying trucks, we bought them all from Rihm.
I don't even like to talk about all this Kenworth. Kenworth's the greatest, always has been for us. And we had such super good luck with them, and knew how to work on them if we had to. And Rihm would always back us up for any problems we had.
We're supporting Rihm to be able to keep those customers and to keep them happy. As you can see, the Rihm Family Company, they do so much in their community and make an impact as well, so that not only are their customers believing in them, but their community is.
And I think it comes back to the whole relationship-focused business that Rihm and Kenworth build their businesses on long-term relationships with the community, and that's just another way that they're engaging in the community and improving the community around them.
I've called on the Rihm family for 20 years now, and so I knew John, and he was a great man. John was one of those guys that was leaving a message on your office phone on a Friday afternoon to tell you happy birthday.
I know that John and I were a perfect match because we had hearts in the same direction. He always wanted to help people. In fact, he taught me more about generosity than anybody else that I can think of.
When my son was born, he was in the hospital for 3 months with my wife, and there was kind of a high-risk pregnancy. So Carrie went out, got a bunch of clothes, monogrammed them with my son's name, my unborn son's name, sent those to the hospital for us. So here my wife gets to open up this package with all of these clothes with Logan's name embroidered on them, with Kenworth stuff all over it. And, you know, pretty impressive thing for somebody to do that I didn't know very, very well. So really, it's been my mission in life to help these guys whenever and wherever we can, just due to that one random act of kindness that somebody did for us. So, you know, they're just really good people.
Maybe old habits are hard to break, but sometimes it's just that relationship, knowing the people, knowing that the family is here, and that we continue to run the business under the same value system that it was founded on.
It's fun to think about, you know, how we were operating 20 years ago when I was working with them, and long before that. So, you know, the Rihm Family Companies are really pioneers, representing, you know, our Kenworth product. They're fantastic representatives of Kenworth. I always say that we're as good as our best dealer, and these guys are our best dealer.
Well, being one of the oldest dealerships around, it's had a lot of impact. So it's people recognize it. People in the trucking industry know it. It's been there forever. They realize the name and the impact. And I think that probably the biggest thing has been just the growth.
The future of Rihm, I hope, is continued growth, obviously. I'd like to say let's let them be around in another 75 years. That would be pretty incredible.
Carrie, I can see us add another dealership. Look forward to seeing JB Rihm take over and see what he can do at the helm.
I obviously want to continue the company as long as we can, as long as there's a need for it. A fourth generation business is pretty rare. And what's been fun though, is a lot of our long-time standing customers bought trucks from us in the 40s, 50s, 60s. And that's first, second generation are starting to retire. And so now their sons and daughters are coming into the business. And it's just, to me, it's a big personal goal to make sure that we continue on being successful over the next generation, whatever it might be.
Thanks, Rihm Kenworth.
Thanks, Rihm.
Congratulations on 75 years.
Thanks, Rihm Kenworth.
Thanks, Rihm.
For a great 75 years.
For a great 75 years.
For a great 75.
Great 75.
And here's to another 75 more.
150 years in business, right?
And I look forward to another 75.
And here's to 75 more.
And here's to another 75 more.